This podcast was produced by Sean Weston Media. So we've been apart from lots of people for a number of months, and at the start there were lots of kind of exciting things there. We were all on Zoom, we were having parties with our families, we were having end of week drinks with our colleagues. Has that faded a little bit now?
Oh, I think so. I think these things are novelty, aren't they, for a while, and novelties wear off very quickly. And I don't know, would people still be having those, what were they called? The work pub sessions, and we all make a drink at home and you all get together. And
Yeah.
I didn't do it myself, but I saw lots of them.
I think they probably do still happen, but really a lot.
Yeah. Why? Why do these things fade
I have
away?
a real theory that we spend all day on Teams and Zoom and constantly having meetings with these people, and perhaps even when we worked together in the office we didn't necessarily socialise together, so to prolong an experience where you're sat at a desk most of the day staring at a screen with your headphones in, do you want another hour of that?
No, it's that enforcement, I suppose, of feeling compelled to hang out with your workmates when you just want to go and watch telly. And I'm talking about it out of hours now. And I'm not talking about work hours. I'm talking about, when someone arranges that 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, let's meet up for a drink like we normally do. Actually, no,
Yeah, I'd rather just put my pyjamas on and get on the sofa.
Yeah.
I think I get that. Maybe it's actually because we've been working apart but closer together.
Oh, that's interesting proposition.
Because we're perhaps talking to each other more throughout the day, we're perhaps messaging each other, we're perhaps having more collaborative sessions together, maybe we're working actively with more people, with a wider circle.
Oh, dare I say it, communications have improved now that we're not in the same building.
Yeah, I think so. I do think that. I think we also maybe injected more humour into our online conversations. The tools have got closer to maybe how we'd use social media out of our work lives. The power of a GIF.
Yeah.
A GIF.
GIF, old school.
You're old school. But the power of being able to send something fun and have a fun conversation with somebody that you may have used to have had face to face occasionally, but being in the comfort of your own home, maybe those relationships have built. And also, we've been going through a crisis. Crises bring people together, don't they?
Yeah.
You have more of a shared experience, and you've been perhaps working longer hours or really doing a lot of work, especially communications teams. It's a huge amount of work managing a crisis.
Well, I know you've been doing an awful lot of work on communications. It's been different communications than usual as well, right?
And perhaps working more as a team in that situation, having to sort of club together and all work a lot closer to get things done, because there's things out of your control. Actually probably makes you a tighter team.
But there's an argument to say, if a leader was listening to this podcast right now and thinking, well, I thought that was going on in the office too. But it isn't, is it? The office is a very different environment, and we often come office ready, if you know what I mean. So in terms of personality and how you dress and how you act, I think there's an office you.
Yes.
Whereas remote working has broken down the office you a little bit.
Yeah, the border between home and work has disappeared.
And that's made some people uncomfortable, but I think it's been more positive than negative. I think people have perhaps been able to communicate better, knowing, oh look, I can see inside their house, I can see what type of person they are, and look at the way they dress, and office Tim is very different from home Tim, and I think I like home Tim better.
Absolutely. My other thought around this, we're all working remotely. In the past, some people were in the office, some people were remote, some people were in a different office or a different time zone. And now we're all kind of the same. We're on this level playing field. That perhaps those people working at home didn't get as much enjoyment because everyone else was chatting away off the Teams thing. And now everyone's in the same situation.
There's more parity between everyone, yeah.
Because everyone's working at home, you also know the struggles of working at home as a home worker, and you're all adapting really well. When people do maybe go into the office more, they'll find it quite distracting.
But what we're really talking about in this episode is the fatigue now that may have set in. So are we starting to want to become our office selves again or not?
I think some people certainly. I think a change of scenery, especially if you don't have a particularly big home or something like that, or you don't have the ability to have a comfortable space to work.
Yeah.
And they will be craving the coffee break with somebody, or the walk to the shops, or sitting in the park and having lunch with somebody. Those things have maybe disappeared for a lot of people.
Well, I think personally fatigue is something that can be broken. Fatigue is a pattern. So whose responsibility is it to try to rejuvenate that sense of camaraderie, of being together but remote? Is it comms team? Is it leadership? Is it everyone's responsibility?
I think it's one of those everyone's responsibility things.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a leader in a business and you notice it happening, or you're made aware of it, to kind of think of new ways to rejuvenate people. Maybe the joy of the initial Zoom chats died off, but maybe bring them back less regularly. I think it was quite intimidating that these things were happening on a day-to-day basis and you didn't really have time to do any work.
It's too much. It felt a little bit, for me, as if it was doing it for doing its sake.
But I think as an individual, if you're feeling fatigue in your situation, then you should make changes as well. You know, do you need to get better at switching off?
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to be online more. Maybe actually get really strict for yourself. I'm working 9 to 5. I'm having a lunch break. I'm going to go and take a walk. I'm going to leave my phone somewhere. I'm going to go in a different room in my house. I'm going to have a coffee break.
Look out, talk to the children, or talk to the dog, or exactly.
To your family, or phone a friend that's someone you don't work with, you know. Actually take the time off. Also, move positions. Put your laptop in a different room.
Yeah.
For the afternoon, follow the light around your house. All these things can just make you feel a bit better and break the fatigue, right?
I absolutely agree. And as you were saying, as you were listing all those things then, it made me think that these are the things that I think apply to the office too. Why should home be any different? So personally, when I've worked in offices, and you know how much I adore offices. So I've worked in an office and I'll get up and I'll go somewhere else. I don't want to be tied to that desk that whole day for 7 or 8 hours a day. Why should I be at that one desk? So I go and take myself off. I go and work somewhere else. I think I've brought this up before, but if someone wanted a meeting one-to-one, I've suggested we go for a walk. Lovely day. Why don't we do this as a walking meeting?
It's just about being productive,
yeah,
isn't
sure,
it?
because no one says no.
I think it is really, really interesting to have that in both home and work. I think the other issue of fatigue, it's a little bit because they can't go anywhere. Oh, I can't leave the country. Why am I waste my holiday? Sometimes holiday's just about not working, isn't it?
Yeah.
How do you reclaim your home on a holiday? You know, if we're in lockdown, for example, again, if that's applicable.
You want to change your four walls, don't you?
How do you reclaim your home as your home opposed to your office? You know, can you, I don't know, light a candle, change the lights, bake, cook, do whatever you enjoy?
I love it when you bake. I don't suffer so much from at-home fatigue as at-home fatness.